Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss the main differences between provision and accrual. We will discuss the definition of accrual and provision, plus what are the general entries, and we will see frame to frame the key differences between accrual and provision. So let's start with the definition of accrual. An accrual means accounting for a liability that is certain and due but yet to be actually paid. A payable amount which is certain and exactly known that how much money or the value needs to pay for settlement of a certain liability. Accrual is the amount that is certain and known. The value of the accrual is known. So examples includes when a company delivers a product or service before taking cash. For example, you are going to deliver the product on credit for 15 days or 30 days or 60 days. When a company records a salary expense before paying, like every month, like the January salary we are getting in February, but the accounting point of view, you need to record that January salary expense in the month of January. So this is the one main example of accrual which we are dealing every month. The next is interest on loans and advances. These are also accruals. Insurance premium, also an example of accrual. Let's head over to the accounting entries of accrual so you will understand better. Accrual creation while recording an expense. Suppose we are going to record an expense like salary expense. So salaries expense account debit. This will be the general entry when we are booking the expense. And accrued salaries account credit. This is, we have created now a liability. And this is accrued salaries. This is January salaries and we will pay these salaries in February. So we need to record our expense and make accrued salaries account as a liability as accrual. Accrual closing while making payment of accrued expense. Accrued salaries account debit. This account which we made earlier as credit, with the full amount we will make accrued salaries account debit, so our liability will be 0. And bank or the cash account, if we are paying salaries by bank, we will credit the bank account. Otherwise, if we are paying on cash, so we will credit the cash account. Accrual occur when a company exactly knows that how much money they have to pay in future. Like the salary expense was 50,000 and you are paying in February same exactly amount 50,000. This is called accrual. This is a key difference between provision and accrual. Let's head over to the provision. What is provision? Accounting for a liability or a loss that is uncertain. As you can see here, uncertain. In accrual it was certain, but possible or probable. The value of liability or loss exactly unknown or uncertain. Examples includes provision for bad debts. Provisions for bad debts when we are making, so we don't know either our debtor will pay us or not. So they might pay us, we don't know, we are not sure. This is the reason we are uncertain. Provisions for depreciation. Provision for non-performing asset. This is exactly the same. And standard provision for advances. Like you have paid a loan to an employee and you don't know that if he is going to pay or not, as he left the organization. So these provisions are called uncertain and unknown but possible. Let's see the accounting entry for the provision. Provision creation, when we are creating a provision while recording a loss on bad debts. Bad debts are the main example which we are dealing every day in our accounting life in most of the organizations. So, provision for doubtful debts debit. We are keeping a provision for doubtful debts, and we are making provision against debtors credit. These are the receivables we are making credit. So we are going to face a loss. We are thinking that we might get a loss in future. So we keep a provision account. We make a provision account. If we get a loss, so we will deduct from our debtor account and we will put in the provision account. And after that, if we are going to face a loss, so we will make as expense bad debts. Since provision are made on a probable basis that an incident may or may not occur, they may not be able to quantify with certainty. Therefore, they are often accounted for on the basis of some reliable estimate. So this provision we have created as an estimation. We are not sure that this provision will be exactly the same amount or not. Note, provision occur when a company unknown that how much money they have to pay or lose in future. So this is the estimated value we are making as provision. Let's head over to the main differences frame by frame. Difference number 1. Accruals involve recording of expenses that have been incurred but payment for which is yet to be made by the transaction entity. Provision involves recording of expense or losses that have not yet been incurred but they may be incurred or on the occurrence or non-occurrence of certain events. Difference number 2. Existence of a liability is certain in the case of accruals. It is only that the actual settlement is pending and thus the same are accrued in the books. Existence of liability in the case of provisions is not entirely certain. As you know, it is probable and is depending on the occurrence or non-occurrence of certain events. Difference number 3. Accruals can generally be quantified with accuracy as the expenses have actually been incurred. Provisions may not necessarily be accurately quantified in the absence of complete information and are thus often based on estimation. Difference number 4. Accruals are accounted for as per the matching concept principle of accounting, in which expenses must be accounted for and matched with the incomes and the period to which they pertain. Provisions are accounted for as per the prudence concept of accounting, in which incomes should not be overestimated and expenses should not be underestimated. The final difference: accruals include accounting for several expenses such as purchase of materials, payment of utility expenses such as rent, electricity, professional fees, etc. A lot of expenses included in accruals. But in provisions includes accounting for probable losses such as provision for doubtful debts, provision for impairment of assets, etc. So I hope guys you like our today's video and understand the difference between provision and accrual. Please subscribe our channel. We will come up with the new videos for you inshallah. Thank you very much and goodbye.